Pirates are remembered as fearless legends who ruled the seas with freedom and power.
Movies and stories turned pirates into symbols of adventure and rebellion.
But the real history of piracy is darker, violent, and merciless.
Most pirates lived short lives filled with bloodshed and fear.
They were hunted relentlessly by powerful empires across the oceans. Very few pirates escaped their violent fate.
The Golden Age of Piracy began in the late 17th century.
Global trade routes created enormous wealth across the oceans.
Pirates targeted merchant ships carrying gold, silver, and spices. Many sailors turned pirate to escape brutal naval life. Piracy spread across the Caribbean and Atlantic Ocean. European empires soon declared pirates enemies of humanity. A massive manhunt began across the seas.
Edward Teach became known as Blackbeard, a name that soon struck fear across the seas. He understood that terror could be as powerful as any weapon, and he carefully shaped his image to exploit it. Before battle, Blackbeard tied slow-burning fuses into his thick black beard. As they burned, smoke curled around his face, transforming him into something almost supernatural. To those who faced him, he looked less like a man and more like a demon risen from the sea. At the sight of Blackbeard standing on deck, many ships surrendered instantly without firing a single shot. His reputation alone was enough to win battles before they began. For years, Blackbeard ruled the seas through fear, intimidation, and legend. But his reign could not last forever. Determined to end his terror, British authorities placed a massive bounty on his head. The task of hunting him down fell to Lieutenant Robert Maynard. In 1718, Maynard finally tracked Blackbeard to the waters of North Carolina. What followed was a carefully planned ambush aboard a British naval sloop. The moment the trap was sprung, the battle exploded into violence and chaos. Blackbeard fought with incredible ferocity. Even after suffering multiple gunshot wounds, he refused to fall. Again and again, he was stabbed, yet he continued to fight, driven by rage and sheer will. At last, overwhelmed by his injuries, Blackbeard collapsed on the blood-soaked deck. His body was examined in grim detail. He had been shot 5 times and stabbed more than 20 times before finally dying.
How could one man endure so much?
To ensure there was no doubt, Blackbeard's head was cut off as proof of death. It was hung from the ship's bow, a brutal warning to every pirate who still dreamed of ruling the seas. William Kidd began his career as a government-approved privateer, legally authorized to hunt down pirates in the name of the British Crown. At the time, he was not an outlaw, but a trusted servant of powerful political figures. Kidd was hired to capture pirates, not to become one himself. But during a dangerous voyage, a single controversial attack changed his fate forever. That moment blurred the line between privateer and pirate. As political pressure grew, the same leaders who once supported Kidd quickly abandoned him to protect their own reputations. He became the perfect scapegoat, sacrificed to calm public anger and political fear. Believing he could still prove his innocence, Kidd returned to New York, hoping to clear his name. Instead, he was arrested immediately and thrown into prison. Soon after, William Kidd was transported across the Atlantic to England to face trial. In court, crucial evidence that could have saved him was ignored or withheld. In 1701, the verdict was delivered. William Kidd was sentenced to death. During his execution, the rope suddenly snapped, a moment that shocked the watching crowd. Many believed it was a sign of mercy or even divine intervention. But the authorities refused to delay the sentence. A second execution was ordered immediately. This time, Captain Kidd died slowly by strangulation before a silent audience. Afterward, his body was coated in tar and displayed in chains over the River Thames, a grim warning to anyone who dared challenge the empire. Anne Bonny defied every rule of her time. In an era when women were expected to remain silent and obedient, she chose a life of violence, danger, and rebellion. She fought alongside male pirates as a fearless equal, never asking for protection or mercy. On the battlefield, and was known for her aggression and unmatched courage, earning respect and fear in equal measure. In 1720, Anne Bonny's pirate crew was suddenly attacked by authorities. Caught off guard, most of the pirates surrendered immediately without resistance. Anne Bonny, however, continued fighting fiercely, refusing to submit even as capture became inevitable. Her resistance only ended when she was finally overpowered. She was arrested and placed on trial alongside the rest of her crew. Like the others, and was sentenced to death by hanging. But in court, she revealed a shocking truth. Anne Bonny was pregnant. Under the law of the time, her execution was delayed. And after that moment, Anne Bonny vanished from the historical record entirely. No official documents confirm her death or release. Making her one of the greatest mysteries in the history of piracy. John Calico Jack, Rackham became famous not for his victories, but for his symbol. He created one of the most recognizable pirate flags in history, a design that would outlive him. But when real battle arrived, Calico Jack failed to show courage. As fighting erupted, he reportedly hid while others faced the danger above deck. According to legend, Anne Bonny openly called him a coward for refusing to fight. In that moment, his reputation was shattered forever. Soon after, Calico Jack was captured by authorities in Jamaica. There would be no escape and no second chance. He was sentenced to death and hanged publicly. His execution meant to send a clear message. Calico Jack's life ended not in glory, but in disgrace, remembered more for his flag than his bravery. Henry Every carried out the richest pirate raid in history, a single attack that sent shockwaves across the world. The treasure he captured was so vast that it stunned governments and powerful empires alike. After the raid, Henry Every vanished completely. No execution, no confirmed grave, and no reliable record of his final years. Some believe he escaped with his fortune, living out his days in secret wealth. Others believe he was hunted endlessly, forced to hide, and eventually died poor and desperate. Most historians agree on one thing. Despite his incredible success, Henry Every likely died forgotten, a reminder that even the richest pirate could not escape his past. Charles Vane was one of the most violent and ruthless pirates of the Golden Age. Unlike others, he refused royal pardons and chose brutality over compromise. Vane ruled through terror, often torturing prisoners and destroying ships without mercy. Even among pirates, his cruelty earned him a feared reputation. But his violent nature eventually turned his own crew against him. Alone and powerless, Vane was captured by British authorities. This time, there would be no escape. He was put on trial and sentenced to death. Pirates chased freedom across the seas, believing they could escape law and empire. But the ocean showed no mercy. This is how the world's most famous pirates died. If you enjoyed this documentary, consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us create more true stories from history. And let us know in the comments what you thought of the video.